I have understood that people misunderstand what a soul tie is. They confuse it with what we call a spiritual husband or a spiritual wife. Now, a spiritual wife or a spiritual husband is a relationship or a bond, a spiritual bond between a human being and a deity or a spirit. It can be an ancestor, it can be any other spirit. However, a soul tie is a bond, a spiritual bond between people. This relationship or bond can affect the way they think, the way they talk, the way they act, the way they do their things. You find people acting or doing things or thinking of the same things at the same time. It is sometimes caused by intimate relationships or what we call a romantic relationship or a sexual relationship. When you have sex with somebody for a long period of time, it reaches a time when you bond with this person, and whatever they think, you also think of that thing at the same time. Or whatever they do, you also think of doing the same thing at the same time. It can also be caused by racial practices. There are people in communities, when they are going to get married or when they are in love, they go into a bond, a ritual, connecting blood together in a spiritual manner. So this can also make them get into a soul tie, which can affect or bond them and affect them in the way they do their things. It can also be caused by traumatic experiences, maybe an accident. If you had an accident together, you may end up in a soul tie with somebody else because you'll be suffering from the same trauma. And when this happens, it means when you're thinking about that tragedy or that accident or that happening, the other person is also thinking about it. When you feel traumatized here, the other person is also feeling traumatized. So this soul tie brings you together. It bonds you spiritually with another person. It may be good in some ways, however, in most cases it is bad. Because you get connected and you'll find, if it is a relationship, you find it hard or very difficult to move on with your life. You'll always be thinking of your partner or your ex. You'll always be feeling like you need him. And this can tie you and make it very difficult for you to get into another relationship. So sometimes you may think someone has bewitched you, or because he has moved on, maybe went for witchcraft, or is tying you in one way or the other. But it is because you had that bond in you. It is because of that relationship, that intimacy that you had, that is tying you together. So it might even be that the person doesn't know anything about witchcraft or has not done anything evil on you, but it is because you had him or her in your heart deeply and you created that bond, that soul tie between you. So it is making it hard for you to move on and to get into another relationship easily.